Hi there, my name is Sam from Versa.com and welcome to the new comparison video between Apple's newest iPhone, the iPhone 12 Pro and Sony's Xperia 1 Mark II. It is Apple's newest Pro device against a phone that we unexpectedly really liked, the Xperia 1 Mark II. So let's find out which phone comes out on top in this comparison video. If you'd like to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Let's start straight away with our review. Let the facts speak. Display. The iPhone 12 Pro has a 6.1-inch display with a 1170p resolution. The 6.1-inch display therefore measures 15.5 cm diagonally with a pixel density of 460 ppi. The iPhone's OLED screen creates, as usual, very natural colors. Apple did not update the iPhone 12 with the 120Hz refresh rate feature. It still uses 60Hz. The Xperia 1 Mark II has a 6.5-inch cinema wide display, which means it has a 21:9 aspect ratio with a 1644p resolution. It uses a 4K OLED screen which creates crispy sharp images. The 6.5-inch display therefore measures 16.5 cm diagonally with a pixel density of an incredible 643 ppi. The screen only has a 60Hz refresh rate, but it uses motion blur which creates the look and feel of a 90Hz display. Sony Xperia's 1 Mark II still has one of the best displays on the market so far. Apple's iPhone has a very solid screen, but there's no chance for the iPhone display to win in this comparison. So the first win goes to the Xperia 1 Mark II. Performance. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II has 256GB internal storage capacity. It is equipped with a super-fast Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 chip with 1x 2.84 GHz, 3x 2.42 GHz and 4x 1.8 GHz and has 8GB RAM. Storage capacity can be expanded by up to 1 TB. The iPhone 12 Pro is equipped with Apple's latest A14 Bionic chip. The phone has 6GB RAM and the individual models offer different storage capacities. 128, 256 and 512GB are available. Storage capacity unfortunately cannot be expanded as it is typically for Apple iPhone devices. It is the first time that Apple's newest chip, the A14 Bionic chip, gets into a fight against Qualcomm Snapdragon 865. Let's take a closer look at which processor takes the win in this fight. Will Apple's software-hardware implementation take the win, or does the Snapdragon do a better job? Let's take it into the AnTuTu benchmark test. The tests are divided into 3 phases: a performance test of the RAM, a test of how the device is handling 2-dimensional graphics, and an endurance test of how the device is handling 3D graphics. That was a close one, but the Xperia 1 Mark II with a Snapdragon chip won the fight and takes home the second point. If you want to see the full performance test, click here. Camera. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II had 3 main cameras: a 60mm ultra-wide, a 24mm wide-angle and a 70mm telephoto camera. Each camera has a resolution of 12 megapixels. The front camera's resolution is 8 megapixels. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II records 4K videos at a maximum of 60 frames per second. And of course it has image stabilization for video too. The iPhone 12 Pro has a triple rear camera system: an ultra-wide, a wide and a telephoto camera. All 3 cameras have a resolution of 12 megapixels. The front camera resolution is also 12 megapixels. The iPhone 12 Pro records 4K videos at a maximum of 60 frames. And of course, it has image stabilization for video. Both phones have good camera systems, but which one is actually the better system? Let's take it to our daytime camera test and let's find out which one does a better job. Both phones took equally sharp pictures and the color rendering was also good on both. The pictures taken with the iPhone 12 Pro are as usual very sharp and the colors look very natural. Pictures taken with the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II seem, as for Sony camera systems usual, pretty sharp and sometimes a little bit too sharp. And the color rendering is okay. We like the colors, which the camera of the iPhone created, a little more. In case of the front camera, the iPhone took sharper images. The 12 Pro has a 4-fold optical and a 10-fold digital zoom feature. The Xperia 1 Mark II has a 3-fold optical and a 3-fold digital zoom feature. Apple's new Pro series has a new LiDAR scanner feature, which improves augmented reality possibilities and the night portrait modus. The Xperia 1 Mark II, thanks to a resolution of 4K, produces first-class videos. With 120 frames per second in 2K mode, you can do slow motion videos, but not as slow as the iPhone. The iPhone, thanks to a resolution of 4K, also produces excellent videos. You can record slow motion videos with up to 240 frames per second in Full HD mode. Since Apple did not change a lot in the new series in case of the camera system, the specs of the camera camera system seem still pretty much identical. We really like the pro apps that Sony put on the device. We gotta give the point to the iPhone though, cause we think that the colors combined with the sharpness of the lens gave it a more natural look. In addition to that, the front camera and the slow motion feature is better on the iPhone. And the iPhone Pro series has a new LiDAR scanner feature built in. All that lets the iPhone win in this category. Therefore, the point goes to Apple's iPhone 12 Pro. Design. The Sony Xperia 1 Mark II has a clean design with a glossy finish. The triple camera system is well positioned on the upper left corner on the back of the phone. We noticed that lots of flagship phones have really big camera bumps that stick weirdly out of the back of the device. Sony did a good job by reducing theirs to an acceptable amount on this phone. The smartphone weighs 181 grams, it's roughly 16.6 cm long, 7.2 cm wide and 0.7 cm deep. It is water and dust resistant thanks to an IP68 rating. The Xperia 1 Mark II has, like every modern smartphone, an USB-C connector. You can unlock the phone via fingerprint scanner, which is built into the power button on the right side of the phone. One thing that you cannot find in most of the new flagship phones is an audio jack. The Xperia 1 Mark II still has one, which we consider as a bonus point. The iPhone 12 Pro has a glossy stainless steel frame, which only the Pro versions have, and a matte glass finish on the back. Typically for Apple, it has a very high-end look to it. The triple cameras are well positioned on the upper left corner on the back of the phone. The smartphone weighs 187 grams and it is roughly 14.67 cm long, 7.15 cm wide and 0.74 cm deep. It uses Apple's Lightning connector and it is IP68 rated, so it's water and dust resistant. And it is supposed to be 4 times more drop resistant than previous models. The iPhone uses face recognition technology to unlock the phone. The Face ID as usual works perfect at daylight and also good in a weak light environment. Okay, we really had difficulties to decide which phone to give this point to. We decided to call it a draw and give both phones a point in this category. The new edges on the iPhone was one thing that gave this phone a big plus. On the other hand, the Xperia scored with its lean design. Just to name 2 points that made the decision difficult for us. What do you think? Which phone should this point go to? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. Battery. The iPhone, when fully charged, has around 2815 mAh. On the other hand, the Sony, when fully charged, has 4000 mAh. The Sony Xperia's battery is bigger than the iPhone's. We already know that Apple's software-hardware implementation makes it a competitor that can keep up with bigger batteries. So let's see what our everyday life test will say. Apple's new A14 Bionic chip did a good job considering the smaller battery that they put into the phone. But Sony Xperia's 1 Mark II got in first place in our day-to-day usage test. Therefore, the point goes to the Xperia. Still, both phones got through a whole day of normal usage. Like always, it depends on the way you use your phone and the settings you use it in. Conclusion. Okay, let's find out which phone scored the most points and takes home the win in this comparison. Let's start from the top. Sony takes the first win when it comes to display. Hardly any phone can keep up with this display. If you haven't seen our drop test of the iPhone 12 Pro yet, click here. It was close in terms of performance, but the Xperia's performance was slightly better than the iPhone's. So the performance point goes to Sony. In this comparison, Apple takes home the point for the camera. The iPhone just produces better looking photos. The design aspect was a tough decision, so we called it a draw and gave both phones a point. Last but not least, the battery life comparison. Since Apple decided to put a smaller battery into their phone, it reflected on how long the phone lasts. In our day-to-day usage test, the Sony Xperia took the lead. Overall, the Sony Xperia 1 Mark II scored 4 points and the iPhone 12 Pro 2. Therefore, the Xperia is the winner in this comparison. Naturally, we review more than these 5 categories covered here. If you want to see the full comparison, follow the link to our website. You can compare up to 7 different smartphones at versus.com. But before you do that, please post your comments and let us know which phone you think ranks first. If you liked our video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Take care and see you soon.